And now we're talking money. We're talking about specifically income and how to manage it from month to month, especially if you're finding that your paychecks are looking a little different as the months go on. So Kathy Sweedler is here joining us. And Kathy, we're actually saying a surprising amount of people have varying paychecks.
Yeah, so there's been some new research that's been coming out and have looked at how people's income fluctuates month to month, and it's found that the typical family may see that 5 months out of the year their income is either 25% higher or lower than the median income that you would expect.
And why is that?
Well, for a variety of reasons, but it does seem to be that, like, for a lot of people, their base job, the number of hours they work, the salary fluctuates. And then a lot of people are carrying, second jobs. Those may change over, like, seasonal work. And then people change jobs frequently. So all kinds of reasons, but it can really make kind of managing your expenses and your income so it balances out at the end of the month a challenge.
Absolutely, because a lot of us make monthly budgets and we try to stick to it, but that can be difficult when you have a lot less money than you were expecting or vice versa. So what are some ways that you recommend you can kind of keep an even keel if you are finding that your income is varying from month to month?
Well, the first thing I suggest is everybody kind of think about it, like where, track it perhaps, or look back and see, when do you have income that's maybe a little higher, and what are the months that might be lower, and can you predict that at all based on your working habits?
And see if there's, even if it's inconsistent, see if there's a larger pattern.
Exactly. So maybe you work construction and oh, well, I'm not going to make as much in December and January. Or maybe you pick up an extra job in the summer and that is going to increase your income. So take a look at that and see if you can say, oh, these months tend to be, a little bit higher and these tend to be a little lower. Then you might be able to move some of those occasional expenses, the things that don't come up every month, but maybe like your insurance payments are on a 6-month pattern or other things. And you might be able to move those to the months where you've got more income. So that might be one strategy. Another strategy would be if you know what your median or average income is, when you've got more coming in, try to stick that away, knowing that you're likely to have some months where it's going to be lower, and don't spend up to that amount.
Right, and as we're thinking about budgets too, obviously it's not just income that can vary, but we know it can be bills that vary, especially during the winter months when we're using more heat and, maybe we need more, we're cooking at home more. So, that could save money there, but you're spending more on utilities, so.
And I think that's the challenge, right? Because what the study also found is the months where people had higher income weren't necessarily the months they had higher expenses. So you've got this sort of compounding effect when you're at the end of the last week of the month and you're like, wait a minute, this is not working out this month. So I just think that as we're trying to plan, we've always talked about tracking your expenses and how useful that is to know where your money's going. But there's two sides to that equation, and we really need to understand better what our income looks like on a monthly basis, and instead of, as many of us have been just kind of thinking of it as sort of like, well, I make this much in a year, divide that by 12, I know what I make. It's not true, not necessarily.
And the bottom line is saving money is always a good idea.
Well, saving money definitely is always a good idea. What we're really looking for is strategies that work for you that will help you kind of smooth out those peaks and dips so you have less stress and less worry about your finances.
Okay, some very helpful tips. Thank you so much, Kathy. We'll be right back with more of the morning show after the break.